It's time to check in. This is Vivi.
This is Tony.
This episode, we're going to talk about spending money.
Please spare my wallet.
I'm not telling you to spend money on me. I'm just saying spending money in general.
Oh. Okay, now I'm listening. What we're talking about.
So what do you spend your money on, Tony?
My main money spending has always just been focusing around cost of living.
So
Yeah.
survival.
Yeah, it's mostly survival. So pay the bills, rent, mortgage, whichever one is relatable to you guys. Fees, healthcare, food, upkeep the car. Just reoccurring expenses mostly.
That sounds so sad. But it is true that you need to go and pay for all these things. But that doesn't sound like fun, Tony.
It isn't fun. It's just the
Responsibilities of being an adult.
Yeah. So what that actually is, if you think about it, is you spent money in the beginning and now all these reoccurring payments is just the consequence of you initially spending that money.
Well, you got to
Ooh.
keep the lights on. You got to have food to eat. You need to have some gas on the stove to make food, right?
Yep. That's just spending. But I'm usually just a little too asphyxiated on trying to make sure we're not over budget for that sector. I don't really think much about other spendings like hobbies, having fun, something that's just on the side kind of deal. So
Oh, that's my job because that's where I put the fun in your life is to make you think about spending on those. Sometimes you just have to spend money to enjoy your life, right? Like, for example, traveling, eating out, trying new foods at different restaurants, watching a movie, buying a gift for your wife.
are you trying to say something here?
No? Why? Do you think I am?
You specifically said buying things for your wife, but you didn't say buying things for your husband.
I buy you things.
No, I'm just trying to brainwash you here. Just buy your husband something, buy your husband something, buy your husband something. Or buy each other something.
Which we do. But there's also spending for self-care.
What's self-care?
You know, the self-love that we kind of talked about in our previous episode, beauty products or a gym membership.
Yeah, I think gym membership is good. Exercising is good, but all those skincare and the glorious white chemicals that all look like lotion, they can't really tell them apart. They look the same to me.
I think that that's one of the main differences between what women spend on and what men spend on.
So what do females spend on? Just shed a light on it for me, please.
Sales. Anything that's on sale. Just
wait.
kidding.
That is actually a good thing you bring up. When there's a sale, why is it essential that you buy 12 of the same item?
You're just exaggerating right now. The reason for it is because it's discounted, right? If you were to go and get that on a normal day, it would cost full price. But because they have a discount of 20% off or however much, you get it for cheaper. So it makes you want to buy it more or stock up on it so that you save money in the long run.
What if it goes on a deeper sale later? Do you buy even more?
Yeah, see, that's the problem. That's how those businesses get you. And sometimes after buying in bulk, when I see another sale or another product, I want to try that instead. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I have more of the same product from the previous run.
They got you. Ladies and gentlemen, they got her. She now officially has a whole storage room full of it. Discounted items.
It's my chem lab, okay?
Having all the stockpile is actually pretty dangerous too. You're potentially going to forget they exist and you're going to go off and buy even more. And when you come home and you see, oh, I actually have a stockpile of these already, put the extra stockpile in and just convert it to a hoarding situation.
I do see a lot of female friends that have that. Thankfully, my problem isn't that big because we don't have as much storage and I'm kind of cheap. So I don't go and like buy a lot of something. But definitely deals do get women. Anything that seems like it's a good deal, maybe it's just imprinted in our DNA. It just makes you want to buy the product more, especially if you were already interested in trying it. And when it comes down to beauty products like skincare or makeup, if they're trying to sell you on, oh, your skin will look more flawless, more glowy, oh, it's anti-wrinkle, it'll help you age slower. Yeah, those are the things that women dream of and want to achieve. So that's why we pay into it.
You speak of that, but when you guys go and try those samples out, does it actually reflect that fast or are you guys just feeling it out to see if it's smooth?
It definitely doesn't have that quick of a result. It's just really to test out if you even like the consistency of the product and if you like how it feels on your skin and how it smells.
the sampler is simply just an advertisement, or people who need some sort of moisturizing and just stop by and just go rub some on their hand.
What I've also learned is that if you go and grab all these samples, you could use it as like travel skincare for when you are going on vacation and don't want to bring full-size products. It works like that too.
Oh, that's actually a good hoarding idea for those who get a lot of samples.
But just don't run out. Don't do it when you're going to Bali.
But you speak of sales and good deal. I kind of think from a male's perspective how it is. It's not necessarily they want a good deal, but they want something of good value.
I think value of women and value of men are a little bit different.
Females might think the monetary value is lower, but you're getting this specific product. But male would look at a product and see how much value it will bring to them without really looking at the money part.
So it could cost a lot, but bring a lot of value and you'd still buy it?
Yeah, most definitely. Funny thing is, I read this on a newspaper when I was a little kid.
You're dating yourself saying newspaper.
Yes, I am. I proudly admit that I'm an old fart. But back to the newspaper. There was an article that said a poor man had bought a pair of working boots for a very cheap price, but it breaks every so often, so he has to constantly replace the working boot. But the rich guy buys an expensive pair for like 3 times the price, but he never had to replace it because it worked really well over his whole life. So if you look at value, you had to pay more for the expensive boot in the beginning, but it lasts his whole lifetime versus the cheaper boot. You had to replace it every so often, but to a certain point, the cheap boot isn't valuable anymore because you spend more in the long run, right? I think that's how a male would see it. Isn't that so rational?
Why does this concept sound like my girlfriend telling me why she needs to buy designer bags? Where if you buy an expensive designer bag because the quality is better and then also holds value longer, it's a much better investment than if you compare it to a random bag where you just use it all the time. And I'm like, wait a second, but you're spending so much on one bag. Are you really just going to be using that one bag? Or are you going to be buying multiple designer bags? I feel like I'm going to get yelled at on this podcast because I'm not one of those designer brand buyers, while my girlfriend would trying to make sense of what she's doing.
So just to defend your girlfriends here, I don't know why I'm taking their side and not my wife's side.
Oh, really? So can I go and get a designer bag now, Tony?
No, let me cook. I'm risking tonight I might sleep on a couch just to say this, all right? Because everyone needs to hear this.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right, so designer bags are something of high demand, okay? Their high demand and their reputation is built on build quality, the materials they use to create this bag, and maybe it's a reputable designer or a reputable brand just retains this desire by other consumers. So maybe if you buy a very expensive bag, after a while you don't like it anymore, you put it back on the market, you might be able to get some money back for it. If you get some exclusive version, someone is definitely salivating for it. Maybe that's the concept for justifying those bags, but...
Okay, so are you going to get me one?
No, my true thought on all this is we could just use a cheap tote and just carry stuff. No need for a nice designer bag. That's my take. I like the way how you do things, so no couch for me tonight.
Oh, so you're complimenting me that I don't actually spend on that kind of stuff.
It requires a lot of knowledge of the product and a lot of elements, whether or not it's going to retain value in order for it to really pay off. So it might be a little slippery slope, high risk, high reward.
I feel like my wallet would have a huge hole in it. I don't need to buy anything else if I go and buy designer.
Yeah, if you buy designer bags, might as well not have a wallet because you're not carrying around any money.
I'll carry around your money so that I could go and get one.
Help! My wallet!
Women tend to go buy a lot of like consumer products. I feel like that's the market for us. No matter if it's like beauty related, fashion related, there's just a lot of things that women want to get their hands on. It's a little different than how guys are. Maybe you guys go for more like timeless things that will last you longer. But for women, it's like fast fashion. Honestly, there's not a lot of people out there that will wear clothes that they were still wearing from high school.
You're calling me out here, aren't you?
Definitely, we don't wear things with holes unless we buy them with holes.
Oh, well, so let's get this fact right. First of all, they're not only from college, they date back to middle school, okay? So I'm rocking stuff from middle school.
But
And
you know what? Those are like more timeless things. Like your t-shirts are from like the 90s, right? I don't,
2000s. I'm not that old now.
but I feel like a guy's t-shirt doesn't look too different from the 90s or the 2000s till today. It doesn't look that dated. But for girls, if you want to stay in style, the fashion industry goes so fast that even though they're going back to like the 90s or the 80s or whatever, it's slightly different. Like I can't start wearing my mom's like 70s clothes and be like, yeah, this is the fashion nowadays.
Chances are you've already donated those old clothes and you had to buy it all over again.
Most likely, because we don't got closet space, right?
That is very true. But there's an interesting observation. Have you ever walked around a mall or some financial shopping area? You would notice that the target customers for most of these stores are for ladies. If there's even a guy store, there's always going to be a ladies section. If you go to
Men's Warehouse, is there really a women's section there?
there might be a section for a woman, just, female suits, but don't ever go there. Men's Warehouse, don't sue us. The thing is, a lot of these consumer products are targeting females. They're not really targeting males.
Because they know we're easy. They know the way to our wallets and to our credit cards.
That is so sad. But hey, for males, they buy some accessory products as well. And that stuff isn't cheap neither.
Like what?
Some males like timepieces, aka watches. And the watch market is insane. They are essentially the designer handbags of males. And just like handbags, you only wear one at a time. You can't be strutting with 4 watches on your wrist.
I want to see them try.
They could, but it will look extremely tacky. Imagine wearing 4 Swiss timepieces on your arms. Ugh. But that is how they get men. They get men with very specific and niche products that they will wear, and they will drive up the price through the roof. Guys don't spend less. They just buy less, but they pay almost the same amount maybe, which actually sounds pretty crazy now that I think about it.
I do want to ask about one thing that I do notice quite a lot of guys do spend their money on, which is different types of collectibles. I'm not talking about just your anime stuff. I'm talking about a lot of different things that guys like to display in their house or just collect.
Oh, anime is just emptying out your wallet very fast. That's speed running your wallet diet. Anything anime figure related, that thing burns up money. I don't even know how to even have shelf space to put out all that stuff.
So why is it that guys collect things and go and spend on things that are priced as collectibles?
Well, first of all, I am definitely not the best representation here, given I don't have a huge collection of anything in particular. But I think it comes down to their passion in said thing they're collecting. Take shoes, for example. Some people really do like shoes. And they're not just getting a pair to walk around. They're collecting
dust. Because they're sitting in a box and not being worn.
Touche. Technically, some of them have a beautiful display for all their shoes. Some people would have all the iterations of the Jordans, or someone has an absolute collection of some basketball shoes, the sneakerheads per se. They would have an amazing collection. One to wear, one to display, and one for spare. I don't know why you need 3 pairs of the same shoe. I don't know what's this urge. They spontaneously like this shoe. They like the colorway of the shoe or something that just clicks for them, or it has some value to it. Like, oh, this specific sports player or athlete wore it when he won the championship. They just have this obsession with it. I'm about to die. Someone's about to kill me for saying that.
Well, I think everyone has their reason to spend money on collecting things, but I think guys just have a different market. Guys tend to spend a lot more on like electronics and gadgets, right?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people who are day one shoppers for electronic new products. They want to be the first one to get their hands on to experience it. That's very interesting to me because day one products aren't necessarily issue free. They might come with day one glitches and day one bugs, but they get the day one experience and immerse themselves in it first.
Is it because they think it's really cool and they just want to be part of that experience first?
Maybe. Honestly, if you look at smartphone products, they've been looking the same for the past few years already. So it's not like it's a flaunt anymore. Maybe if you get that special VR headset or a very specific computer part, yeah, you could flaunt it a little bit, but it's only 3 seconds worth of praises until it's just a product that you use.
Those products usually cost a lot too because they are electronics. It's in the thousands.
Yeah, and nowadays, certain electronic products like computer parts, they're getting marked up and people are still paying that money, which is insane. I don't know what's the urge to be a day one shopper on a lot of electronic parts. Unless you need it for work or for your business, I don't really have an answer for the justification. There's a lot of well-proven products already in the market. Why do we need to opt for the latest and greatest? Like I said, I'm not the best representation for shopping and spending money here.
But what do you collect, Tony? Like you said, you don't really buy the day one electronics. You have some anime or Gundams, but not really.
What am I collecting? Money. But I'm not that good at it neither, so it's not like I'm very proud of it.
Man, I'm just imagining you in our bathtub and like throwing your money and trying to swim in it.
I probably have enough to fill a drinking glass. That's it. I don't have that much. I call myself a bum. I don't think you could have this lavish thought of me just being rich. I'm so sorry.
But hey, I support your passion to collect money. Go ahead, Tony, while I go and spend some of it.
Oh, so you're taking my dividends and just go, oh, you have a decent pile here. Let me just take some of the dividends you're making and putting it to good use?
Not exactly. Just a share. Tony and I actually are financially independent. We don't really share our money. So he can't control what I use my money on, nor do I go and look at what he does.
I just recommend you do some money collecting as well.
We could talk about that later. But I know that girls can spend less on things that they're just being sold on. But I think there's a lot of stress for girls to look a certain way and to be more presentable. So I think a lot of the money is not just spent on like products to keep them looking good and young and clothing that makes them look fashionable. But also there's a lot of self-care things that I mentioned. For example, doing facials, doing their nails, hair removal, haircuts, hair dye, and even just pampering like massages and spas.
Oh, stuff that I have very little knowledge on.
Yeah, because you don't even really pay much for a haircut too.
Well, the fact that I work from home, fortunately, no one needs to see how ugly my bad hair days are. So I'll just go with whatever.
But yet you don't let me cut your hair. That saves you the most money.
We'll discuss this on another day. But all these beauty and skincare products, I rarely see a guy ever walk into those. I've seen men go into mani-pedi before, but I don't really see guys going to facial or lavish haircuts.
Maybe they just don't share it, but they do, secretly.
I don't think I would spend my money on this stuff. I think my philosophy of looking young is just to hit the gym. One gym membership and just torture yourself. That will get you eternal youth.
Wow, that's a way to think. While the girl perspective is really to do everything that you can on the outside as well and try to preserve as much as you can. And I think that's the bulk of where the spending goes.
But does all that spending bring you true joy and happiness?
I think it's kind of stressful. If you think about it, we're trying to go for a beauty standard that we may not actually be able to reach. And we do spend a lot of money to try to achieve a certain standard in our minds. Right now, I feel like a lot of women are kind of going the other way, but yet we still have a part of that thought and psychology in us, which makes us spend more and more on consumer products to maintain ourselves in a beautiful way.
Whoa. Why did you suddenly make this such a deep podcast? I thought we're trying to keep it lighthearted here. Here, have a piece of chocolate.
What? Why are you trying to give me some sweets right now, huh?
Because I think a piece of chocolate, if it's very delicious and it comes with a nice note of like a tarty flavor that just hits you right, it just brings you so much happiness. I think that is like what a guy would spend. Spending to be happy.
I think women spend money to be happy.
Oh, like what?
Well, buying things to make us look good makes us happy. Spending on our self-care and pampering, like massages and spa treatments, make us happy. A lot of things make us happy. You know, even spending money on our dogs and cats.
And your husband.
Yeah, I guess that will make me happy too. If you're happy.
Yes, please pamper me. Show me all these things that ladies do to pamper themselves and enlighten me. Not that I'll go do it myself, but I want to give it a shot once or twice.
I think just giving you a wad of cash probably would make you pretty happy.
Oh, muchacho's happy. I don't even know if that's Spanish.
One of the spending habits that I definitely feel that we have a big difference on is what's in the home. I feel that women, or at least me, what's important is the decor, the furniture, things that make the home look good and feel like a home. Versus what's important to you, Tony, as a guy.
I would like a lot of space. And how do you achieve a lot of space? You have very little things. That makes a lot of space.
Yeah, our home is more of a minimalistic home because I also don't really like clutter. But I want it to also look appealing to the eye, where it feels cozy, modern, has a touch of style, which is why picking furniture is another piece of art, where things must match, the colors must go together. They're just not mismatched all over the place.
Honestly, that is very hard to find things that would appeal your liking. You're not going to just one super furniture store and just grabbing everything there because it doesn't work that way. You're picking and choosing here and there, which, funny enough, could be a huge money sink.
It is. When we were buying furniture for our home, no matter if it was online or in a store, when I go and flip the price tag, it always seems to be one of the more expensive products in the place.
It is causing critical damage to your wallet every time you flip that tag.
Well, if it wasn't for me being here and wanting to match all the furniture and all the colors and the style, would you just buy like random furniture?
I would not. I would simply not buy furniture.
Where would you put your stuff?
I'll put them in a box somewhere. Out of sight, out of mind. Don't worry about it.
Okay, so no furniture in your home. I guess that really does go for the whole minimalistic kind of look.
Nothing excessive. The more you buy, the more you have to maintain and upkeep, right? So the less you buy, the less you have to maintain and upkeep. It's just standard thinking. I don't need to dust the shelf. I don't need to maintain an oven or something. Just nice and simple.
I feel like if I weren't here, you'd literally be sleeping in a room with just a mattress on the floor.
I actually did that for a few years. It's pretty nice.
Oh my gosh. We're not on the same channel here, Tony.
No, we're on the right channel. This is the channel of I'm hoarding money as best as I can, and you're spending money.
Opposites attract. It all works out, right? But I remember when we were decorating our home, after we got all the furniture, I was looking at how to make the home more cozy, and I was looking into plants, and you're like, oh my gosh, no, 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 no.
How many no's have you said at first? Like 5 of them? Every no that I have said is for a different reason. No, you don't have a green thumb. No, we're going to attract flies. No, that's a lot of plants. No, I don't have time to upkeep this.
But they look good. They freshen up your home. They provide you oxygen.
You know we could just open the window and get some extra oxygen, right?
It's different. This is home decor. It's also a living thing that you could take care of.
In true honesty, they turned out pretty nice. It's not overbearing, just a good touch. And everything is best with moderation. And do you remember what's the one piece of furniture that I picked in the whole house?
The TV.
Yeah, it's literally just the TV and nothing else.
And you were adamant to go and get a relatively expensive TV. I thought a TV was like a few $100s and that was it. You just needed a big one that had nice colors. No, you had to pick one that will last through the times.
Yeah, so I picked the TV with good value, eh? That TV is pretty good. It has really good color. Like it shows black as very black, you know?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh, to your surprise, black is really hard to show on TV. If you look at older TVs, black is just like very dark tone of gray, but this one, black is black. I was like, whoa, me likey, me likey. Expensive price tag, but I read a lot online, made sure, did a lot of research. Okay, so these TVs have bulbs that will last a long time. And then I could nerd out like crazy about all this from all the research that I did. But you know, like guys always say, good value.
While girls like good deals. So I think we were able to match because I waited for a day where it went on sale and then you got your TV for a little bit cheaper. And I was happy because we got a discount.
So that's the ultimate winning strategy, eh? Guys find the value, girls find the deal.
That's the teamwork.
And on that note, it's time to check out.
This is Vivi.
This is Tony, who's been bleeding money. We'll catch you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.